Hello, my crafty friends. I'm sorry. Allergies are driving me nuts right now. We're going to make a quick, easy fabric journal, but I'm going to show you the ones that I've made, other ones that I've made before we actually get started working on it. So I'm going to wait just a minute and let a few people get in before I get started. Hi, Teresa. I'm glad you're here. Sorry, I keep getting Facebook notices and email notices when I'm not really wanting to. Hi, Joan. I'm glad you're here. Hi, Mary. Hi, Becky. Becky, I missed the live stream that started the whole reason we're doing this one that you did, where you talked about the little fabric journal that I sent you. I'm assuming you're doing a fabric page swap, and that's what prompted everybody to want to make their own journal. Let me know if that's true, because I don't want to say something and be wrong about that. Hi, Sana. Hi, Mindy. We're going to get started in just a minute, but I'm going to let people come in for a minute too. So you and Kathy are swapping. Okay. So it's not a whole swap. It's just a personal swap. And that's fine. Other people might decide they want to do personal swaps too. But this is a quick, easy way to make a little fabric journal that anybody can do. And I've only done one swap. Everything else I've done, I just did on my own. So you don't have to do swaps to enjoy a fabric journal. I have 3 here. This one I've never done anything in. I just made it, and it's just been setting up there. But this one is the one I made for me, and I made it out of 3 signatures, and I made 4 of these books, these little signatures, and then I put 3 of them together to make this book, and I sent the 4th one to Becky. And so that's thanks, Mary. So this is the kind I'm going to show you right here. I was just wondering, because I didn't go back and look at it to see how many pages I put in my signature. So let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 20. It looks like 23 in this signature. And I think that's more than enough. If I was doing this again, I would not have put 3 signatures together. I would have just made one. No, right here. So there's about 20. We'll just say there's about 20 pages and I think that's a good amount, about 20 pages or 20 sheets. Because even if you put 20 together, you end up with 20 times 4, so 80 pages in your book. So hi, Barb. Hi, Carol. And that's more than enough. In fact, when I put this one together, and then I realized how fat that was going to be if I worked on all these pages. And so what I did was put, and I thought I was going to be sewing everything. So I was going to glue 2 pages together after I got this one done and this one done, then I would glue them together. I ended up gluing everything in and gluing 2 pages together, but it's still really, it's still a really soft and fabricy book. It's not, of course it depends. This has, got more fabric on it, but it's still good. But so I've been gluing, well, Becky's been gluing 2 pages together too. So you haven't missed anything. I'm just talking about this book a little bit, Kathy. And I haven't, and then I'm going to show you how to make it. Well, I put 20 pages in a signature, and I think that's plenty. And that would make 80 pages if you do them individually. And if you glue them together, you would still get like 40. And that's plenty to put in a fabric book. And that's what I've been doing, is gluing them together, because it gets fat really easy, And so if you're making them out of a sheet, now let me say that, and the one I'm going to show you, I'm making out of a sheet. And this was made out of a sheet. The one I sent Becky was made out of a sheet. So what I'm doing is I'm working on this page and this page, but in between them is a page that I'm just gluing shut. So that gives it, that makes it, a little stronger. Plus you don't bulk up quite as fast that way. Now, if you wanted to make, just put 10 pages in there, then you probably wouldn't need to double them unless you're sewing everything in. If you're sewing everything in, you definitely want to glue 2 together, because you'll be sewing this, and then if you come over here and try to sew this, you'll end up sewing on top of this, and you don't want that. So yes, you can use felt, you can use denim, you can use anything you want, any kind of fabric. It doesn't matter what you use to make it. The reason I'm showing you to make it out of a sheet is because sheets are pretty easy to find. And the way I made this one was so fast and easy because I just tore it. And sheets will tear easy. So that's why I'm making it out of a sheet. And I made this one plus the one I sent Becky. So that's 4 signatures of about 20 pages each out of, I think it was a twin size sheet. So you can get a lot of book out of one sheet, You can do anything you want. Let me say this again. You can do it any way you want, Teresa. Let me just show you the pages I've done so you can see, okay? This was where I was going to write when I started the book and when I finished it, and I forgot to do that, so I don't even remember when I started it now. This was just putting pretty things on here. This one I made a collage out of a shirt and some upholstery fabric. I even used fabric markers to color this in because it was this color. On this one, I put down some upholstery fabric, and then I cut flowers out of upholstery fabric and glued on here. And then Hannah made me some butterflies out of some ribbon, and I glued those on. This one, I glued this lacy fabric on the back and some lace around here. And then I just glued this little Santa guy on because I found him at the thrift store and didn't know what else to do with him. And this one, I just, I glued down some strips going this way and strips going this way. And I just glued them on the edges, and then I wove them. I did this one in a video. I don't know if maybe it was a live stream. I'm not sure. But that was a lot of fun to do. And then I put lace around the edge to, dress it up. This is the one I got. Okay. I know I did a lot of these before November of 2018 because I got this in my swap. I swapped with Dawn Boss, and this is the only page I've swapped so far. And this is what she sent me. Isn't that cute? My little button snowman. And so I just glued it right down on here. She sent it. I think denim was what she used. Yeah, she used denim for her background. So she didn't have felt, so she used denim. It worked great. And then I did this one. This I really like this page. I think this is probably my favorite one. It's just Crazy Quilt page. I did it all with glue. You don't have to have sewing skills to do this. And I've only done one more. Oh, I did this one, just made a big flower out of different pieces of lace and then stuck buttons in the middle and a little metal butterfly on it. And this one I did sitting in my recliner. I just put some pieces together and did a slow stitching piece, and then I glued it on here. So what this book is 3 signatures. And what I did is, let me find the spot. Okay. I took one signature. No, this is the first signature. Okay, maybe it's just 2 signatures. Maybe it's 2. No, I'm pretty sure it was 3. Okay. I think I lied about that. This was 2 signatures. 2 signatures with 20 pages each. And I glued one signature to the back of the book. And I glued one signature to the front of the book. And then I glued the back and the front of these 2 signatures together. So this is how, that's how I made this book. So it's 2 signatures with 20 pages in each signature. It just looks like 3 because I worked from the front here and it got fat. But see, here's the middle of that signature right here. And then there's one more. So there's just 2 signatures in here. And then I just glued some fabric, green fabric on top. And then I glued down this lacy piece. And I made a flower. I did sew this flower together. And then I glued it on. And then I glued on my little dragonfly. And that's how I made the book. It was real easy. So you can make it as big as you want. But I would, if I was doing it again, I would make 1 signature and do the 20 pages and let that be good. This book is a little bigger than that, I think. I'm trying to find the center here. Okay. These pages are approximately, and I just tore them, so I didn't measure them exact. I made a page, I liked the size, and I just tore a bunch of them approximately that size. So this is approximately 13 inches. This sheet, this piece is 13 inches by 6.5. Okay, some of them are more like 7, some of them are more like 6 because they didn't turn out exactly the same. So this makes a square that's a little bit bigger than 6 by 6. And that's how I did mine. So it's 13 inches long and about 6.5 inches wide is how big I made the strips. And that's how big I'm going to make the one I'm making today. And that's this book. And this is, like I said, this is what we're going to be doing today. You do have, and you know, most of these, like I said, weren't swaps. I just built them in, so I just made my pages fit. But the one swap that I did, where is it? Where did I put it? You know, fit by 8. So it's not quite a square. And I made the outside one bigger so I could wrap it around. But this is just 1 signature. And so I've got 1, and it's thicker fabric, so I'm not going to double these up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 pieces for this one. Okay, and I think this makes a nice size journal, which means these 7 pieces, and they're not exact either because I was trying to, like this one's much smaller because I wanted to get, I didn't want to waste that piece. So these are about 16 inches wide, except for this one, except for the cover one, 16 inches wide by about 9 inches this direction. So 9 by 16. And this is made out of a thicker, um, I would say it's kind of a canvasy muslin type fabric. It's thicker than regular muslin. I'm not sure what you'd call it. It's not burlap, but it's just something I got at a thrift store at a, you know, and I made my book out of it. I would say if you're making your book out of denim or something heavier than a sheet, you don't want to have as many pages. You just want some pages. So, like this one, I think a 10-page one out of a thicker fabric, it would be perfect. That's okay, Sana. It doesn't have to be your thing. And one reason, um, one reason I did it was because I like working with fabrics, but I don't like to sew that much. So this way I could do fabric art without sewing. Um, this one I did as my October. It was part of the Dear Julie's October challenge, and her challenge was a one-of-a-kind journal. And she told you have to make so many of these and so many of these and so many of those. And I decided I wanted to make it out of fabric. So so I did. So it's this one is huge. It's probably too big. Unless you really want a tome, this one's too big. Okay, that's fine, Sana. This one I made my cover. Let's see if I can lay it out here. I made my cover out of denim. And I just have 2 signatures. Okay, so let's fold that up. That'll be a little straighter. I just have 2 signatures, and I glued some pretty stuff on here, and made it longer so this would wrap around. And I'm really glad that I did that. And I thought when I made it that I made this too long, but it turned out it wasn't too long. Uh-oh. And then I just stuck this on it. Come on. If I can get this back on. There we go. So I just, put some beads and stuff on it. But inside, oh, let me see how big this piece of fabric is, just so you'll know. Well, let me try that again. This is about 24 inches long, the cover, by 12 inches wide. Now, the pages inside are not this big, but 24 by 12 is about the size I made the cover. And that seems to be about right. It's all kind of, hi, Holly. It's all kind of hard to measure when it gets fat like this. Inside, I lined it. Whoops. Inside, I lined it with some upholstery fabric. And I did do my embellishments. I put tags and stuff like this because that was part of the challenge. And so there's fabric with paper on the back. These things, so you can decorate with fabric, but you can still make it where you can write in it like a regular journal. Okay, this is one of Julie's flip-flops and it got bent. See, some of this got bent back because I didn't notice it when I was putting it together. Here's a tuck spot with a postcard. And I like this came off of a shirt. So I used, and I have there's a lot of stuff that, there was nothing here yet. I could still do stuff to it. I just haven't done anything else to it since I finished the challenge. And here is some fabric. It's the same fabric that other journal's made out of. No, it's not. It's thinner. Anyway, I stamped on it. And here I made a tuck spot and a card. And here's a flip up, flip down where you can write. And here's a couple of little tags that tuck right behind it. So I was doing all of the challenges that she was doing with paper. I was doing them with fabric. And this is a paper clip that, can clip on. And this is just a journaling card that I just tucked into the back of that paper clip. There's some more stamping with ink. And another journal card. This is a pocket it's got fabric on the outside, and I used cardstock on the inside to make it sturdier, and then just put that little thing on there and made tabs and little blingy stuff. And I'm only showing you what's inside this one so you can get an idea. If you want to add paper and fabric together, you can do it. Yes, embroidery would be great. That would be so much. I want to see it, Mina. Hi, Elizabeth. This is another one of those flip-flops. And another little dangle thing. And these pages are not all the same size, as you can tell. I'm trying to get to the middle so I can see about approximately what size they are. And here's a pocket. And I made it with black cardstock and, cardstock with denim over it. And then I put this lacy piece over it too. So it makes a pocket here. And then there's a pocket behind it too. And I just tucked these in there. And then I glued, oh, no, I didn't. I was going to say I glued those together, but I didn't. And those, still haven't done anything there. This is the center. And on average, the pages are bigger than this piece. So I'm going to go up just a little bit. I would say the average page size for this one is 10 inches tall and probably 15 inches wide, or 15 or 16, but some of them are smaller. That's some more stamping and a tab. Here's a big old ticket. What do you call that? Tag made out of packaging and a belly band. There's a tab. Belly bands don't work great on fabric. I should have backed them with paper just like I did the cards. But anyway, live and learn. It's the first time I've ever done anything like this. So, and some of these just have tabs. This is got a button on it. It's just a little paper clip. Here's a pocket made out of some lace from I think it was a camisole, actually. And then I cut these off of something else and glued them on. And this is just some flowers and fabric glued on there. And another little tab. And there's a pocket here, and it's fabric covered over cardstock. And another tag. I'm going to go faster so we can get to actually making them. But I thought if you saw the two different ways I've done a journal, it give you two different ideas of how you might want to work. So, oh, poor Janet. Yes, everybody, please pray for Janet. Or her family is struggling right now. Because of this coronavirus thing. And I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't give her a migraine. It's that kind of a thing when you're that close to it. And here's a tag and a pocket. And on this pocket, I also made a little belly band. So you can do things in a fabric journal like you do a regular journal. Here's a tuck spot. And this is fabric. And that's denim and lace that I actually did put some card behind it to give it some sturdiness. There's some blingy. And another. You had to do so many pages that you stamped and stenciled on. And so I just saved all of these pages for that. Here's another flip up, flip down. And then here's a pocket tuck spot. Made a couple of, a tag and a little journaling spot. Tuck in there. And this, my pocket was too big, so I just let it stick out like a tab. Made a huge tag out of very thick. I made all my tags out of packaging. And then I put this bead in the middle and left these strings in case I wanted to add something else. And here's another journaling card. I just put it on with a regular old paper clip. And this paper clip is another one of those that I decorated. But on this side, I put a journaling card in there. And this is just fussy cut fabric. And that's fabric, lace. This is paper. And this is leather piece with the button. And here's another journaling card. This is paper and ribbon and fabric. And then here I did a tuck spot from the top. And don't know that anything will ever be tucked in there. But this is a piece I did with a card. And so it'll open like this, but it'll also, it's not as easy to do with the fabric journal, all these kinds of things, but it'll also just paper clip in like that. And I just stuck that one right there because I needed a place to put it. I have plenty of other pages I could move it to. I probably should. And then here's a pocket from the side and a journaling card. And this is a paper clip that I just covered in this ribbon. And we're almost through. Oh, and here's a little clip-on earring that I made a dangly thing. And I don't know where that's supposed to be. I'm going to stick it right there for now. Okay, so this is, oh, great. I just dumped all my needles off in the floor. See, and it just barely shuts now. So, oh, thanks, Kathy. Anyway, this is a completely different kind of journal than what we're going to make today, but it is another way you can make a fabric journal. And I wouldn't make one this big again, probably, if I did it again. I would make one that was smaller and more manageable. Ah. I put a belt on it to keep it shut. Let's move it around a little bit. There we go. Okay. Thanks, Gloria. Well, inspiration is kind of what today's about. So I just want you to see that you can do anything with a fabric journal. Now, let me see if I can get this one back up here. Okay. All right. Now, this is half of a queen size sheet. I just cut it in half and then I coffee dyed it. And it was very white. Now it's very, very coffee dyed. And I just did half of it because that's more than enough to make a couple of journals. Whew. Okay, I gotta pick up my needles real quick first, or I'll forget and step on them. So y'all just chat real quick. Luckily, not too many of them fell out since I have something stuffed in there to prevent that. Okay. Oh, thanks. Yeah, that belt, it's a Calvin Klein belt. I found it at the thrift store. I was like, oh, that's a small belt. That might work. So, okay. The first thing you need to do is decide how you want your cover. I think it would be fun to have this piece as part of your cover. For one thing, it's thicker. And so when I did the other one, I tore it right here and just tore this off. So, and I did the same thing down here. So I was just working with, the side to side sheets. But I'm going to go ahead and do that here because I don't like that flip up, and I didn't do that last time and it flipped up and bugged me the whole time. So I'm going to go ahead and, oh, Holly, that's terrible. We need our dryer. I hope it can be fixed. I'm going to go ahead and trim off this edge here. And all I did was cut it just enough that I can tear it. And of course, once you start tearing this big old thing, okay. Let's go back and start again. That was too close to the edge and it wasn't straight, so it ended up tearing kind of weird into the middle of that thing instead of okay, come on. I'm sorry, I know you can't see anything really right now, but this is all I'm doing. It's not that exciting. Okay. And then cut that off. And you could use this to make something, to wrap around your book and make a closure or something for it if you want to. Okay, now when I got to the end, it was like this, and I don't want that. So we're just going to tear that off. Now this one will make a better strap for it than that little one. So I'll hold on to that one. Okay. First thing I want to do is figure out how wide this is so I can see if I make the pages about 7 inches wide. There's 2. 4. I can get at least 5 rows of strips out of this half of my sheet. Okay. So, yeah, that would be so handy if you were next door, Becky. You could help her out. Scott could help her out. Okay, I'm going to go 7 inches. What did I do with my scissors? Oh, dear. Well, here's another pair. Now, I'm not being exact about this. I'm just cutting it, so it might be even a little bit bigger than that. But when you're cutting... Okay, now I just cut it past this, and then I'm going to tear it. And then we're going to check and see, because of the first one may not be square if it wasn't cut square to begin with when they made the sheet. So all right, so let's see how wide this is. Okay, it's about 7.5 at this end. Well, we can just do this. Okay, see, it's pretty close. It's pretty close. Oh, there's my other pair of scissors. Alrighty. Lots of extra strings. Okay. I think I'm just going to leave this strip, and I'm going to go ahead and cut another one, because I have an idea of how I want to do this so that this can be my front and back cover. So let's measure here. We did that one at 7.5. Okay, so here's another one. I'm going to just set the rest of this aside for now, because I think I can get enough for one out of here, but I may not can. We may have to come back and do some more. Okay. Now we want to go about 13 inches. Just made one piece I liked, and then I kept tearing them to match. But I'm kind of wanting this one to be sort of that same size. So, okay. And that does not look right. It's 6.5 though. So, okay. I think 7.5 by 14 would be better. I think my other one was 7, and this is 7.5, and that makes it look weird. But we're just going to go ahead and do it because a 6x6 piece will fit on here. No, we're not. I'm going to make it. So far, we had yesterday, we had our first 2 confirmed cases in Amarillo. So the schools will not be opening back up this year. They're going to do online stuff and that kind of thing. But they haven't closed the library so far. I think they should personally, but it's not my bailiwick. Working. So as long as they have people who can go out and do stuff and aren't sick, they will be open, I'm sure. Okay, all these strings, If you like to add strings in your mixed media stuff, you get a bunch of them out of this. Okay. Okay, Barb, I'm making this one for you. So do you want me to cut it down a little narrower, or do you want me to make it this size, or do you want me to make it where it's like 7 by 7 or 7.5 by 7.5, something like that? I don't want to go any further than this until I know what she would prefer. Oh no. Barb, did you? Okay, see, the fabric pieces I have done are 6 by 6, so that should be okay. All right, let me get my book and, well, let me just measure here. If we do a 6 by 6 pieces, they will just barely fit this direction, but you'll have a lot of extra room at the top and bottom. I think I'm going to make it a little wider, and then at least you'll have a border all the way around, which will look nicer to me. Okay, so we're just going to not worry about this one right now. We'll set it aside, and we're going to do them 14 or 15. Maybe we should do them, I don't know. Let's do them 14.5. How's that for a compromise? All right. Now, this is what I did with my other one. And if you do it this way, your pages are not going to all be exact, which is one reason you need to start with one that you know is big enough. If you don't like to pull strings, you probably don't need to do it this way, because there's lots of them. Okay. So then what I do next is I just go along and put it, right next to it. So you're just kind of measuring it by itself. Yeah, I ended up doing almost 15 by 7.5. Almost 15 by 7.5. It doesn't matter as long as it's, if you're going to do 6 by 6 pages, then you will want to just make sure that it's big enough to go with that. You may not want that big of a border. But I think I like the look of this better because it's more square. So that's what I'm doing. Almost 15 by 7.5. Or what did I say? Yeah, almost 15 by 7.5. More strings. probably why they become narrower as you go along, because you're pulling strings out every time you cut one off. Okay. And then I've got this little bit. I would have less if I had made the first one as wide as I made the rest of them. So actually, what I've got left over is these two pieces, which I could make a little, a little journal out of those. Okay. Now then, okay, one more question, Barb. Do you want this piece to like fold over? That's what I was thinking. If we made this piece long enough that this could fold over the top and be your wrap around. How does that sound to you? To have it where it'll wrap around. Do you want that or not? If I do that, I'll make it quite a bit bigger so it can, the fatness can still be there. Yeah, just use your yardage of fabric. That's fine. It doesn't matter what you make it with. It doesn't matter. Yes, wraparound sounds good. Okay. I'm so glad we think alike. And I'm going to give it this much room for expansion. So we'll make your end piece like this. Okay. Now then, I'm going to put this one underneath these. Okay. Well, there we go. Yeah, since it's going to be covered anyway, it really doesn't matter. In fact, my first one that I did, I did some coffee stained pages and some I stained with Kool-Aid just to see what they would be. Ooh, look at that. I love that page. Too bad it's going to be covered up, but that's okay. Sometimes the prettiness of your pages is just to make you happy while you're working on it. See? Okay, let's see what we've got so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. And you can cut this if you're a precise person and you want things more precise. I like the rough edge personally more than I want to go to the trouble to try to be precise, because it takes a lot of work to be precise when you're cutting a bunch of pieces like this. And if I was a quilter, I might feel differently because, quilters are used to cutting things precise, and that feels good and looks good to them. So, and in my quilts, I like my quilts to be cut precise. But you don't have to be a sewer or a quilter to make a fun book. Okay. I think this one, it'll be close to the right size. We may have to cut off a little bit. Yeah, not much. So there's a fun little piece to put in a collage or something. And this part has some little holes in it. But if you're going to glue two of them together, or glue something on top of it, it won't matter. All right, let's see how many we have now, because I didn't think to keep up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right. Let's make us another strip here. Okay. Yeah, I like the rough edges too, Kathy. They make me happy. They make me happy. Okay, now then, I think I'm going to go ahead and just take this off. I'm going to do it like right here. Because that could be used as a pocket somewhere. Okay. You just keep on tearing fabric. This is a thicker sheet than the other one. I may not. It might be better to have a less sheets. I mean, less pages in it. I don't know. That was a very old, very, very thin sheet, and this one is a more modern, sturdy sheet. You know, the thicker cotton. That looks like a pretty good journal to me right there. I think that's 13. I'm going to do it 15, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Well, let's see. Well, however many we can get out of this strip, we'll just go ahead and do. It may be more like 16, but anyway. I wasn't thinking when I was counting the pages in that other one that how thin they were compared to this. And it does make a difference what kind of fabric you use. Like if I was doing denim, I would probably only do 10 pages. Um, Thanks, Barbara. Okay. All righty. We got one more here. Here's another piece you can use in collage or something, or I can use in collage or something, I guess. Okay. So here's our book. Okay, we've got all our pages laid out. We've got our flap to go over. So it'll start out like this, but there's plenty of room here for it to grow as she puts stuff in it. And we're going to sew it right here. And I'm going to do it just like I did the last one, which is very easy breezy. I am going to go ahead and use a couple of these clips because how did those get like that? Somebody else did that. I don't go to that much trouble. Probably my son. He does things more precisely. Oh. Okay. There we go. All right, now then I want to make sure I'm where my center is, where I want to sew it. Right here. Now I sewed mine with ribbon. And so I'm going to use the same kind of ribbon to sew this one. This is Silk Rayon Blend. It's kind of like the seam binding, except it's much thinner. This is actually woven edge ribbons styled in France, Reynolds for hand knitting. Okay. And I want to double it because I think that'll be good. And I'm just going to do, well, it's going to end up being 4 holes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because I'm not going to poke holes, I'm just going to sew. So in the middle, there will be 2 holes instead of 1 in the middle. And I'm just going to get the sharpest needle I have that I can get that ribbon through. Okay. And I'm going to just start and make sure that that's okay. I'm leaving my ruler there just because I think it helps me. And I'm just going to go down right here in close to the center, but not exactly in the center. All right. Okay. That's what this little thing's for. I can get the needles out of it. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to go back in and try to stay pretty even with that one. Up here. Harder to do when you're trying to show people. Okay. Okay. Now see, that looks way down angled to me from there. If I do that, yeah, that's not going to work. All right, so take it back out and move it this direction a little bit. And we'll try again. Okay, what is going on? It still looks the same. All right, let's see if we can. All right, let's fold this. How's that? That looks good. I'm going to hold it like this and put my hand in there. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and pull this through. This is how I did my big denim one too. I just sewed it. I didn't poke holes, and because it's not that easy to poke holes and find them again in fabric. You just might as well just go for it. Okay. I'm going to go back out here. You don't want to pull this so tight, as tight as you would paper, because it'll just buckle up. Because the whole point of it is just to keep it together. It's not to. And then you're going to just make a new hole kind of beside that other one there. Yeah, pliers would probably help. Pliers would probably help. Okay. And then you've got these two pieces, and just like if you were buying in a paper journal, you just tie them together. Easy peasy. Hi, Nancy. I'm glad you're here. And there you got it. Now, when I look at it here, if I flip it over, let's see, then it you can see all my pages are not even. If that bugs you, then probably this method is not for you because it is going to be very hard to get them exactly even. And you can go back and trim off edges and make them more even if you want to, but it's going to be hard to get them exactly even. For one thing, we're tearing them. So anyway, and then this goes over here. And so you could, like, where is that one? With this one, I took I just took the ribbon and kind of sewed it in and out and did the same thing here. So that I had, and then I tied them, you know, after it came out to make a closure. The only problem with doing this, which I didn't think of at the time, is if you do it now, then you end up, as your book gets fatter, this gets further and further away, and it'll still be okay, but my strings are going to be, you know, too short if it gets very fat. Anyway, I'll send you some extra ribbon with it, Barb, so you could use that ribbon if you want to make some kind of a closure for it. So there's that little fabric journal, easy peasy. Now with this one, you know, I haven't done anything with it yet, but with this one, I went ahead and covered the whole outside, but I didn't have this flap here, and it was a much, much thinner sheet. And then I had also glued signatures together. And so there were a lot of reasons to add another piece of fabric as well as my lacy stuff on this one. For this one, I think if you wanted to put lacy stuff, you could just put it straight onto here. You wouldn't have to add another piece of fabric. So that's that's up to Barb. She can decorate it however she wants. Well, and you got to stop doing this at some point because you'll end up with no sheet left if you just keep going. Here's my little bird's nest of strings that I took off. Let's go ahead and just clip that little batch right there. Okay. I'm going to pluck it bald. I'm going to try to resist the urge, Mina. It is one of those, look at that. Isn't that fun? That's almost as much fun as playing with wool fibers that you're going to spin. Make a bird's nest and put it on one of the pages. Yeah, okay. I'll send this little bird's nest. She can put on one of the pages along with some ribbon here. And I don't know how she's going to want to do it, so I'll send plenty of ribbon. And we'll just tuck both of those things inside here. Okay, it does. It looks really awesome from the side, doesn't it? It just makes me happy. I love the look of that. Kind of like when you get one of those old books and all the pages are deckled, you know. Okay. Thanks, Barb. I'll put this in the mail to you as soon as I get the chance. Okay. I was thinking about making a page in this book while we're here. Do y'all want to do that, or does everybody else need to go too? Oh, you're very welcome, Barb. Thanks, Becky. Okay, I need to put this one somewhere where I won't forget where it is, because lately I've been having issues with putting things safely away and not finding them. So now I'm trying to put them in obvious places that I can't miss. Make a page. Okay. All right, we'll make a page. I'm going to do it back here because I did so much in the front. I need to work in the back. See how I got this page that's little kind of mixed in with that? I think I'm going to glue these two together instead of gluing this one to that one, because that way it can still be a big page. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that real quick. And I took my glue in the house. Okay, y'all wait one moment and I will go get, well, thank you, Sherry. I'm going to run in and get, okay, I can flip through it again real quick, Beth. This one doesn't have so many in it that I can't do that. But I'm going to run in and get my glue and I'll be right back. Okay. I'm just going to put some glue right on here. It doesn't take a ton. Because it's not like we're going to be coming back in and trying to take them apart. So. Okay, and I'm just going to lay this down like that. Okay, and we're going to work right here. Most of mine, you know, they're not 2-page spreads. I've had a couple that are, but most of them are not. And this is the only one I've done somewhere else and then put in the book. The rest of them I've done actually in the book, except this one, was sent to me and I put it in the book. But the rest of them I actually worked in the book. It's a 2-page spread, but you could easily do just one of these, and that would work fine. And there's those. This is a 2-page spread. But any of, and that one, I guess I did do more than I thought. But I haven't done a ton in here, so I need to do a page right there, but I'll come back and do that later. We're going to work right back here. Okay. And I may want to let me find a book I can put underneath that. Here we go. We'll put this book underneath it. In case I want to go all the way across, I can. Thanks, Beth. Okay, now, usually I kind of have an idea of what I'm going to do, and I wasn't thinking about actually doing a page, so I don't have anything planned. So, I was going to look and see where my bag of scraps is. Okay. I'm just going to pull some scraps out, and we're going to see what we can do. There's some little squares. Okay, surely we can figure something out of that. If not, we can dig back through. Okay, here's a piece that says somebody's put together to start a quilt. That's very different on the front and back of that. Look how that looks on the front, and then look how that looks on the back. So we could do something like this. I don't know if we're going to or not, but just to try it out here, let's go ahead and cut it that length so that it can be sitting there and we can see what we've got. I've also got this. I don't know that it'll go good with that, but it's a piece off of a pillowcase, I think. That's pretty. It's kind of like decoupage, but with fabric. Sort of, yeah. It's collage. I like collage. But so you can do this. I like to build mine in the journal unless I'm giving it away. But if I wanted like this one, I wanted to just work. I wanted to try to make it. So, I don't know if I like that or not. We've also got we've also got this that would be pretty on there. And we could do something with it or not. Um, you know, you could start with that. And then I would probably find some flowers and cut them out and put on there because I like to do that. You could put pockets, you could make it, you know, quilt squares. You could just take little jaggedy pieces and actually make collage. I'm not really inspired at the moment, so this is not as easy for me. Actually, I think I like that. Okay, let's trim this off because that's going to bug me. Okay, so we've got this. And it doesn't have to actually match your page size. I mean, I could seriously just put it on there like this and let it stick out all around. I'm probably actually going to do that. And I'm just going to do this one piece here. Okay. So we can make this kind of stick up, you know, above our page. So on the back, it would look like that. Same kinds of things that you do just for texture and stuff in a junk journal, you can add into this. I haven't done any pockets or things like that in this one. It's more just for collage type stuff, but I did enough pockets in that other one to last me a while. Okay, I don't want this to stick out past the bottom, I don't think. I don't mind it sticking out past the top. But I think I'm going to take off just a little bit. Well, I don't know. Let's see. See, this one, the green sticks out past the page. No, I think I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay. I'm going to put my glue on here, and then I'm just going to lay it over there. Okay, come on. Oops. Guess I need to open up the... Yes, it's easy to mail out. That's true. When you're mailing them to somebody, putting them on the felt or the denim or whatever you have that's kind of a heavy piece to give it backing, and mailing it makes it easy to mail out. That's true. Excuse me. And I could go ahead and put glue on the green part because it's going to be over there, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to put glue on the sheet. let's do it. Changed my mind already. Yeah, that's one of the great things about the art glitter glue. You can just glue it and go on. Okay, I've heard a lot of people say they don't like using it on fabric, but I haven't had any trouble using it on fabric. Okay. Now this edge is the selvage edge, and that's why I think I'm going to put it right here. And then the blue can go on. I mean the edge that I tore can go on right there. And so I'm going to go ahead and do it right here. Now, I'm not going to glue this one down yet. I want to audition some other stuff first because I might want to tuck something behind it. I don't know. I'm thinking some kind of flower would be pretty. Not this one, but I could find something. Or I could put some more lace on it. None of this is really making me dance a jig. Ooh, that's pretty though. One thing about using stuff that's kind of in your scrap box already is that you can cut it and stick it right back in there and use it on something else if you decide you don't want it. So you're not messing up anything by auditioning stuff. I danced over what? Oh, now I understand. You were saying something completely different than I was. And you were right as well. But yeah, I like that. Although this is white and this is cream, and I'm not sure if I like that. Um, I'm not sure if I like that's why I didn't choose this one because it's white. But it's much more obvious because it's not, the blue coming up behind this one kind of tones down the white a little bit. And so, anyway, we're going to leave it like that. And I'm going to see if I can find some kind of flower that I can put on here as well. And I can tell you right now, I'm not going to find it in that bag. So I'm going to put this stuff back in there because I don't think I'm going to want to use it. Now that I have a plan. Okay. Let's see what I've got here. Got some butterflies I could put on there. There's flowers. Oh, Let's use this piece with the butterflies, but it's not so huge. There's some flowers. There's a couple more flowers. Oh. Okay. We're going to see what we can find to audition here. Okay, we could put this flower on there. It's kind of hard to audition them without fussy cutting them, and I don't want to fussy cut something that huge. But we could put this flower on there. And I kind of like that. So I'm going to set it aside as a maybe. Is there something on here we could do? We could do a tulip right there, or the bird. We could do a bird. Let's see. Don't really like those with it. We could add a butterfly if we decide we want to. I don't think I like the butterfly might go okay with this, but I don't think I would want it with that. So I'll stick it up there with that one. Now this fabric is really pretty. And there's a flower right there that we could use. We could put on there. So that's a possibility. And then I've got this huge piece with these big flowers, but I don't really like it as well either. Okay, so I'm going to give you some options here. 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, 3. Tell me what you think. Okay. We've got a vote for 2 votes for 1, 2 votes for 3, and then one that says bird, which is also 3. I'm going to give you a minute more and see. We'll see what everybody thinks. Okay. Now it's 3 and 3. 3 votes for 1 and 3 votes for 3. Well, we obviously don't want 2, so we'll just take that one out. We'll just take that one out. Somebody going to be the tiebreaker? Bingo. Bingo doesn't help me, Beth. Sherry says 3. Deborah says 3. Okay, we're going to just go with 3. Now, Teresa was more specific when she said the bird. I'm going to cut this flower out as well as the bird, and we will see if we wanted to use them both or if we just want to use one of them. I think if I do the bird, he's eating these berries, whatever they are. I need to do some of this other, kind of like that, maybe. So I'm gonna we're gonna fussy cut it as if we're using this part too to begin with, and then we will see. We will see. If we don't like that, we can bring the tulip back. Fussy cutting with fabric is a little slower than fussy cutting with paper. And at least for me, it takes a lot more concentration. Okay. Gloria says, as the basin bird cutout would be pretty. And Beth says the berries is a good idea. So. Okay, I'm going to go over here and do something that's not quite as fiddly as the bird for a minute. All right, let's go ahead and try to do these leaves as well. We can always take stuff off, but it's not as easy to add it back in. I mean, you can glue it back on there, you know, next to it, but it's not quite the same. Well, let's go ahead and all right. Well, so far, this is what it's looking like. Let's put this back. Keeps catching because I hadn't glued that down yet. I probably should just go ahead and glue that down, but. Hi, Joyce. All right. Let's go ahead and work on the bird here a little bit more. We're gonna okay. So what do y'all think about this so far? It'd be a lot harder to trim out in here. Let me lift it up a little bit. I can't zoom in, but what do y'all think about that? It kind of blends in. Yeah, that's right. It kind of blends in. But I don't think this blends in any more than the bird does. I'm going to try something real quick here and see if this will help it. We can certainly go to the other flower. I'm not opposed to that. I think the other one would show up more. And we may still do it, but I'm going to. Let's just think about, what if we put this coming out of here and put the bird behind it? No, that doesn't make him show up anymore. Yeah, it does. And I think, though, we'll lose our background completely if we put something in between him. And that's what I was trying to do with this. So let's just cut out the other flower and see what we think. Sometimes you just got to try a couple of things. That's that's just the way it is. So this fabric is stiffer, so it's actually easier to cut. So it won't take as long as trying to do that bird. I'm sorry, I'm not having a whole lot to say. Not easy to fussy cut and talk. We're getting there. We're getting there. Are y'all still with me? Everybody's eyes glazed over, having to watch me fussy cut fabric. Joan's still here. Thank you, Joan. And I don't think I'm going to worry about the leaf because the whole leaf's not there. So we're just gonna have the flower. Almost there. Okay. Now we could just put that on there right like that, or we could find a stem to add to it. Let's see. Well, oh, thanks, Joyce. Okay, Mina's still here. Beth's going for some coffee. She needs to keep herself awake. Joyce likes the flowers, so we're good. I don't think it has to have a stem, but somehow I think it works better for me if it does. Okay, let's see. We can do this and just like that. That looks better to me. Does that look better to y'all? Adding a stem, and I can actually even put this little leaf over the top like that. Perfect, Mina says. Yay! Okay. All right. We're going to just do it. And Sherry's still here, and she thinks it looks great. So we'll see. We'll put this on, and then we might try and see what we think about adding the bird. Right now, I'm not thinking that sounds great to me, but who knows? I thought the bird was going to look great the first time, and it didn't. So, okay. I'm going to, where's my, well, oh, see, I should have shut it. We could put the bird on the other page. That's possible. Yeah. We can do that. I was really planning to be off of here by 2, so I don't know if I'll be able to do that or not. Oh, gotta take my son to work about 3:45, and I haven't eaten anything today, so I need to fix something to eat before I go take him. But we'll see. I'm not starving to death yet, so we might can do another page. I didn't tell him I would be off at 2. I just told him I'd be ready to take him to work when it was time. Okay, I need to add a little bit more here. Okay. Let's add a little bit more right there because that's wanting to not lay down. Oh, thank you, Gloria. Yeah, it's fun to rummage around and find your fabric and just play with it. You don't have to sew something. You can just play. Let me make sure that's, I think I was going to go more like that. Okay. I like this because you don't have to have a lot of fabric to get to play with some fabric. You just, have a little bit and you just have some fun. And so if you have, if you get just little scraps of, fabrics with pretty flowers and stuff on it, you can enjoy those fancy fabrics and not have to upholster a chair or make curtains or any of the other things that you would normally do with them, make pillows or whatever. You can just enjoy the little bits. Alrighty. Pull up the leaf. And then we'll glue the leaf down on top. Quilters have been known to visit and pet their stash. I believe that. I pet and visit the yarn I've spun. So I absolutely believe that. I've been thinking about sending a skein of my hand spun yarn to my niece for her birthday. I need to show pictures of some of it to her mom and find out if there's a certain color or something that she might like. She likes to knit, and they were supposed to get to go to London on spring break, and they didn't get to go because of the coronavirus. So I'd like to do something a little bit special for her birthday, since it's next week. And she's having to be out of school and all of that stuff because she likes going to school and seeing her friends. So, okay, I like that. I think I like it just like that. I think the this and the fabric, the flower really accents the lace up there too. So, I think that's a really good plan right there. Now, the bird could go right over here. We could just put him down just like that. We wouldn't have to do anything else. Or we could cut this flower out and have it coming out somewhere. Let's just finish cutting this flower out and see if we want to do that. I could find some kind of other fabric to put behind the bird, maybe something plain. But my coffee dyed sheet is, pretty plain. It would work behind it. Okay. These little curves are not that easy to do. I think it's worth it once you get it done, but it's not that easy to do sometimes. Okay. We put this here. Can we put the tulip behind it? No, that would. I think that just muddies it up. Bye-bye, Becky. Have fun. Thank you. Oh, you can put a trim on the edges. That's a good idea. Let's see what have we got that'll go with this. That's darker. If that would match, that would be pretty, wouldn't it? Okay, let's see what else we've got. That might match. Oh. Oh, I have an idea. This isn't my idea, but I saw this as I was reaching for it, so we'll see. This is probably too plain to really add much to the page. But we could put this little bit of lace on. I think it needs something with color, something red. It needs to be something red. If I can find something that's that color. All right, where's that? Somewhere I have a bag of small, here they are, small pieces like this. Let's see, we could put this around the edge. It's just a piece of fabric. It's not exactly the right color though. Let's see. Is this the same? Yeah, that's the same. I don't think any of those actually really go with it. That's too maroon. And this is polka dotty and it's too bright. So we've got that one that's really too dark and this one that's too light, and that's the only reddish things I've got in there. So let's see what else we've got. We could just cover the page in strips of this. I would be covering the whole page, but you can't see that right now. And then put this on top. What do you think about that? Let me just go ahead and trim it here so we can. So you don't even have to have a piece of fabric that's the right size. It's okay. All right, so what do we think about this? That's weird, Barbara. So what do y'all think? Do you like this background? Okay. Beth thinks it works and nobody else said no, it doesn't work, so we're going to go with this. Except I think this one's a little bit too big. Okay. All right. I'm going to unplug my glue. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead and move this one down just a little bit. Let's see if we can make all the stripes similar in size. All right. Oh yeah, Barbara. It I think it works better to not try to do it as if it's paper and use the same hole. It's definitely has to be adapted, and that way you actually have 4 holes, which gives it some more strength. Okay. And now we've got okay. Well, got to get rid of some of these strings. Okay. Don't dry up before I get to you, glue. Okay. There's our back page. All right. Well, I'm fixing to get off of here in just a second. I'm going to glue this bird down, and um, I keep forgetting that her 3 o'clock is my 2 o'clock, and I knew there was a reason I wanted to get off at 2, besides just that I was going to want to eat something, and that was it. So we're going to be quick, 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 quick. All right, come on. Okay. There we go. Yeah, Hannah will appreciate them. Maybe she'll have some kids that'll appreciate them. So that's it for today. Yeah, there you go, Barbara. Those woven pages are a lot of fun. Have at it. Okay, well, it should come up really quick because it's not much more than 2 hours long. But anyway, God bless you. Y'all have a great day. Bye bye.